From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Russ RIesinger. We know more tonight about how Billings School District 2 plans to educate in the fall amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The superintendent expects about 30% of all students across all grades will take the option to learn online this year, while the rest are heading back to in-person classes. And we now know more about the types of classes scheduled to be offered online and more specifics about school sanitation procedures. Q2's Mitch Legge was keeping track of the school board tonight.
As COVID-19 cases rose in Yellowstone County over the summer, Billings School District 2 received more and more interest in an online learning platform. Billings parents will now be asked to enroll their student in either online or in-person school for the entire year. School Superintendent Greg Upham said at the meeting that the community COVID-19 situation will be analyzed around Christmas to make a decision about whether or not to continue learning online.
To change that much staffing in a district this size is monumental. Okay, can it be done? At mid-year? Probably. Would we look at it? I will definitely take a look at it. I learned a lot from the graduations, I'll tell you. Do I want to promise that will occur? No, I don't.
Online students will have fewer course offerings than in-person students. Advanced placement and vocational classes won't happen online, but there is some flexibility. If an online student's health concerns allow, that student could come back to in-person classes and take their desired course if there's enough space. The new remote learning administrator has put together a document for parents to decide what type of schooling their child will have in the fall. It also provides some expectations of parents.
One thing being that the child needs to adhere to student code of conduct, that they need to promote active engagement in the learning process, and it needs to be a parent-family commitment with the kids, because the teachers and the families are going to be working together to make sure that this rolls out successfully for the students.
New sanitation protocols are being followed in all of the schools. Each classroom has one disinfectant pump sprayer for staff and custodians to use at their leisure. And facilities staff are keeping an eye on the air filters within the air conditioning systems and changing them at twice the regular frequencies. And classroom sanitation will happen twice a day, once after the students leave and at some point during the middle of their day. And these are just a few of the procedures that are lined out in the superintendent's plan to reopen Billings schools. To learn more, find this story at ktvq.com or on the Q2 News app. In Billings, Mitch Legge, MTN News.
Thanks a lot, Mitch. As it stands now, Billings activities and after-school sports will go on in accordance with the documents released earlier this week by the Montana High Schools Association. Yellowstone County athletic directors are meeting within the next week or two to hammer out a policy on fan attendance for student sports. Well, Montana saw one of its largest single-day COVID-19 increases and 3 more deaths. 2 of those deaths were men in their 70s here in Yellowstone County. The other death, a man in his 60s in Bighorn County. Also today, state health officials are reporting 201 new cases, 40 here in Yellowstone. Bighorn County reported 30 more just tonight. More than 1,300 Montanans are currently infected with the virus. Well, most of the COVID deaths have been in elderly patients, but today Governor Steve Bullock expressed his concerns about another group with fast rising numbers of positive cases.
And while we're testing more across all the age groups, we're seeing more and more that the younger age groups are contributing to our increase in cases.
I did not worry about catching it. I was just not being as careful as I should have been.
One of those young people who came down with COVID-19, 23-year-old Katie Gondero. She joined Bullock for the news conference.
Please don't take this lightly. And I think that it's really important for people my age in the 20 to 29 age group understand that we are really we're driving the spread of this, because while we may recover from this, we all know people and have people in our lives that won't.
In Yellowstone County, which has by far the most active cases in the state and the most deaths, more than half of the people testing positive are below the age of 39. Bullock says additional measures are being considered for 9 hot spots, including Yellowstone and Bighorn counties.
I know that capacity to get our hands around this virus in some of these communities is actually getting difficult. We'll be working with local public health officers in the upcoming days to determine if Additional common sense measures can or should be taken to both deploy additional resources and/or steps to limit the spread.
Well, Governor Bullock once again also pushed for all Montanans to wear masks and played a new public service announcement that stresses their importance.
We're all in this together. We're all Montanans and we all care about each other.
Mask up, Montana. That campaign will begin airing soon across Montana. All right, turning to Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. And Bob, some much-needed rain fell throughout the area last night. How much we end up seeing?
Well, here in the Billings area, just like a couple of hundredths of an inch. There wasn't much here. But let me show you some other places in extreme southeastern Montana. A little place called Carter County. Maybe you've heard of it. Look at this. A place like Alzada, 4.5 inches of rain. That's right. Albion, 4.25 inches. Ridgeway wound up with 1.5 inches, 1.54 to be exact. And Hammond had 1.50 inches of rainfall. Now, let me show you. They did have a lot of heavy showers and thunderstorms there earlier this afternoon, but now it looks like most of the rain is just about to kind of rain itself out. The whole thing is starting to push its way back down towards the southeastern corner of the state and also down into parts of Wyoming, and Colorado, and Nebraska. And we'll have more about that coming your way in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Bob. We're continuing to follow Monday's grisly attack south of Choteau. MTN's Tom Wiley has a first-hand account from the victim as he recovers in the hospital following a brush with death. Now, a warning, some of the images in this story are graphic.
Shannon Rammel is lucky to be alive.
We got problems with grizzlies up here at my house, and I just got attacked by one.
A chance encounter with a grizzly bear on Monday left Rammel with scars, stitches, bruises, and one heck of a story.
I didn't stand a chance. You know, he come out of there real fast.
It started Monday afternoon when a neighbor spotted bear tracks near the Rammel property.
But her and I, my wife and I and my little daughter, we had walked, she's 12, her name's Lisa, we had walked over to the pond to look at the tracks.
They were about to head home when Shannon checked out a nearby building where grain was stored to see if any had been eaten.
So I went to the building, I looked in slowly to the right-hand side and didn't see no corn in there. And so I looked to the left, all of a sudden I heard this, "Rrr," and he come flying out of there right off the bat.
Shannon struggled with the bear, but was soon overpowered.
I remember rolling to my belly, and when I rolled to my belly, he jumped on my back and bit me with full force, trying to rip off this shoulder. So I just laid there quietly then because I couldn't do nothing. He was on top of me.
His wife, Jamie, who had returned to the truck with her 12-year-old daughter, acted quickly.
The whole time he's throwing Shannon like a rag doll. So when I punched the truck, he had stopped and he looked at me dead straight in my eyes. And he got off Shannon and turned around and got out of there.
Shannon was in shock, but he wanted to document the immediate aftermath in case he didn't make it.
And you can see my bones, my tendons. He ripped into me pretty good there.
Shannon was life-flighted from Choteau to Benefice. Luckily, he suffered no broken bones, but the wounds on his upper body will take time to heal.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody that's come out to us. They come out to my house, take care of the kids. Everybody, a lot of people are just gracious and very nice to help people out.
The Rammels have 9 children, and this encounter puts the problem of grizzlies on the prairie into focus.
Yeah, this is more bear aware, and it shouldn't be like that. We live on the plains. They have the mountains. They can stay up there.
And that's my fear, is I don't want a bear like that up there around all my children.
So everybody be careful out there.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Well, the Rammels believe the bear that attacked is the same one they've reported on their property 5 times since the fall. As of this afternoon, FWP was still trying to locate that bear. Still ahead on tonight's MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2, a different kind of vote. The Farm Bureau is on the lookout for 2020's top farm dog. That story coming up in the Montana Ag Report. And in sports, we're going to meet an Air Force veteran who is back on the golf course after nearly dying in what was supposed to be a routine parachute jump. Scott has that incredible story coming up in just a bit.